Mom says from the front seat. Mom was up late painting roach wings, and she is currently sleeping. It's your turn to entertain our driver. Safety laws frown upon reading and driving at the same time, Dad says. Come on, at least just read page 96. Translation: Dad doesn't really want me to read from the book. He just wants to talk about the real Iron Man, Richard Browning, the guy who invented a flight suit and got into Guinness. Whoa, Dad, did you know the largest yo-yo was almost 12 feet tall? Dad ignores my comment. How fast did Browning fly again? And that yo-yo weighed 4,620 pounds. What was his flight speed again? Can you remember, Milo? I flip some more pages. Can you believe the tallest toothpick sculpture is almost 17 feet? Milo, Mom says, just tell your father what he wants to know. You're interrupting my beauty sleep. Dad pats her knee. You don't need that, honey. You're already stunning. I bet Richard Browning would think so too. Milo, Mom says. There's no escape. I resign to my fate. The real Iron Man, Robert Browning, flew 85 miles per hour in a body-controlled jet engine suit. Really? Dad says like he is shocked. He's not. Dad knows everything about Browning. And how did he power that suit? With 6 kerosene-fueled micro-gas turbines. I quote from memory. I bet it could go even faster than that. Dad knows it could. Don't you think? If only it had a parachute. Richard Browning is actually really cool. He worked on the flight suit for years, but he only recently got into Guinness. And now he is Dad's hero. Maybe it's because they're both engineers and marathon runners. Or maybe it's because Browning has done what Dad has always dreamed of. Richard Browning has earned a world record. Because I am an excellent son, as I flip through the pages of my new Guinness, I also listen to Dad talk about Browning and how there will be a day when flight suits will be as common as cars. I supply the appropriate uh-huhs whenever he pauses. When Dad starts talking about all the flight suit prototypes, my nose starts to twitch. A tickle builds inside my left nostril. I force it into the loudest, most intense sneeze of my life. Seriously, that could have been a record. In the front seat, Mom bolts upright. Success! Whew! I scratch my nose. I'm sorry, didn't mean to disturb you, Mom. It's just something really irritated me. Mom slowly turns to glare. Something is very irritating to me, too. Now that you're awake, though, you should hear what Dad was just saying about how we'll all have our own flight suits someday. Go on, Dad, tell her. Mom crosses her arms. Milo's fortunate that we don't have a flight suit right now, or that's how he'd be getting to Shotwell Stadium. Dad sighs. If only we were so lucky. Chapter 3. It's lunchtime when we get to Shotwell Stadium in Abilene, Texas, where we'll earn a Guinness World Record for the largest crowd of people dressed as insects. Mom, Dad, and I double-check our costumes. Once our long antenna, slip-on bug bodies, and extra legs are all in place, we grab our sack lunches and trudge through the parking lot. We stop at the check-in table in front of the main entrance. My heart beats hard inside my homemade thorax. We're here on time. We made it with no flat tires or car breakdowns, and our costumes are accounted for. Registration is the last step. After this, nothing can stop us. Just past the gates, the place is already crawling with participants. Mom and Dad finish at the table, and my family gets the okay to join the rest of the crowd. I let my parents go first, and I pause to absorb the scene, the stadium, the people, the last moments before everything changes. Inside, Mom stops and studies the map she grabbed when we checked in. Let's follow along the backside of the bleachers. When we get to the corner at the end, there'll be a ramp down to the field. Lead the way, Dad says. It gets harder to stay together as the swarm of people-sized bugs gets thicker. We veer around giant butterflies and spiders and somebody in green who I think is a grasshopper. The plastic roach wings on my back.